Hesci everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to create Fringe style earrings. Here's what you'll need: a beading mat, bugle beads, size 11 seed beads, a beading needle, size B 9mo thread, earring hooks, and a stopper bead. Some extra tools you'll need are a pair of scissors, needle nose pliers, and a lighter. Let's get started. First, you're going to take your thread and unravel about an arm's length. Now we're going to thread our needle. I found that the easiest way to do this is to pinch the string in between your index finger and thumb, and you just want to make your thread as small as possible, and then you're going to place your needle onto the thread rather than trying to put the thread through the needle. Pull through and you can leave a little bit of a tail. Then we're going to take our stopper bead, bring it all the way to the bottom, and we're just going to make a couple of regular knots just to keep it in place. Now this step isn't necessary, but it's really good for first-time beaders, and it also helps keep your beads from falling off. Now we're going to get our beads out. When putting our beads on the mat, less is really more. So I'm just going to get a few of these bugle beads out, and then as for the seed beads, I'm just going to do a capful of each for now. You can always get out more beads later on, but it's a lot harder to try to put everything back up in the end. Now that we have all of our beads out, we're going to pick up 2 bugle beads. We're going to bring those all the way down to the end of our string, and then I like to place my thumb in between the stopper bead and the bugle beads. So what we're trying to do is create a stack effect for the base of our beads. So we're going to take our needle and go up through the first bead. And you pull it through, and as you can see, it makes them stack next to one another. Now we're going to go down through the next bead. Now you can pick up another bugle bead, and we're going to go in the opposite direction of your string. So the string's coming out the bottom, so we want to come through the top of the same bead to add on another one. Go ahead and pull that through. And just kind of tug at it to make sure it's secure. Then you're going to go up through the last bead before adding on another bead. Now that you have 3 beads, you can go ahead and cut off your stopper bead. Continue adding on 2 more bugle beads until you have a row of 5. Now what we're going to do is reinforce our base. So to do this, you're just going to zigzag through each of the beads. And I do this about 3 to 4 times just to make sure everything stays in place and is stable. Now we can start our brick stitch at the top. We're going to begin by picking up 4 of your seed beads. At the top of your beadwork, there are these little notches. We're going to start by going through the very first notch. Next, you're going to go up through your first 2 beads, and then down your last 2. And then back up the last 2 beads. This time we're just going to pick up 2 seed beads and we're going to go through the next notch. Same thing as before, you're just going to pull it through and then go up those 2 beads that you just placed. You'll continue this same pattern all the way down until your last notch. The only difference with this first row is that we're going to be adding an additional 2 beads to the last notch. To do this, you just add it to the exact same notch that you just added to. Now you'll pick up 4 beads to start your next row. Before starting your next row, make sure to flip your work. This time, we're going to be going into the second notch since this row is decreasing. Now, same as last time, you're just going to go up through your first 2 beads and then down your last 2 beads and back up your first 2 beads. Continue to add 2 beads to each notch until you reach the very end. When your thread starts to get about this length, here's what you're going to do to start a new piece. You'll start by weaving your needle back through your base. There's no right or wrong way to do this. The idea is just to hide your string. I usually try to stop at the end of a row. That way I'm able to just cut the piece off and burn it. That way you won't be able to see it. Now you can start a new piece of thread. To do this, get about an arm's length again, and then you're going to tie a couple of regular knots at the end. I usually do about 2 or 3 just to make sure everything's secure. Next, you'll start by weaving back up through your base, the same way that you did when ending your thread last time. The whole goal is to just hide your thread in your piece. Just make sure to end your thread back at your starting point. Now you can cut your tail and then use your lighter to burn it down. Once you get to the last row of 2, you're going to pick up 4 beads, and you're going to go down in the opposite direction that your string is coming out. What you want to do is just go down through all of the beads on this edge. Once you get through all of them, go ahead and pull your needle through. Then continue your needle down through your bugle bead. Go ahead and cut your tail off and burn it down. Now comes the fun part, which is the fringe. We're going to follow our same pattern over here and duplicate it to this side. You're going to start by picking up 6 white beads, and the best way to do this is to keep your needle flat and scoop the beads up rather than trying to poke at each one. Then 1 black bead, 4 yellow beads, 1 black, 4 light orange, 1 black, 4 dark orange, 1 black, 4 white, 1 black, and then a yellow, light orange, and dark orange, and 1 black. Bring your beads all the way down your thread. Now we're going to make the ending of our row. To do this, pick up 5 of your black seed beads, bring them down to the end, and then separate them from the rest. Now you're going to go back up through all of your beads except for those last 5. You can do this in small sections. You don't have to go through all of them at once, but you just need to get through all of them. When you make it through all of the seed beads, make sure you go up through the bugle bead as well. Pull everything through, and then once you get here to the end, what I like to do is just grab the bottom 5 beads and then pull on both sides. You want to keep it a little loose, that way your thread doesn't become too cinched. Now you've made your first row. Now you want to go down through your next bugle bead to start your new row. Now you're going to pick up 10 white beads. So all these other colors will still stay the same. The only thing that changes is this top piece here. As you can see with our example over here, that is the only thing that changes. So we'll increase each row by 4, so the next one will be 10 and then 14, and then we'll decrease and do 10 and 6. Now just repeat the previous steps until you reach the very end. Once you get to your last row, you're going to pick up your 5 black beads and go up through all of your beads except for the last 5. The only difference with this row is that we're going to go up through the last bugle bead and then weave our needle throughout our piece. Same as before, there's no right or wrong way, you just want to hide your thread. I usually do this until I reach the end of a row, then I can cut off my tail and burn the end. Now that you've made both sides of your earrings, it's time for the final step. Grab your earring hook and your needle nose pliers, and you're going to take your needle nose pliers and open up the end clasp. Now grab your earring and place the earring hook on the top loop that we created. Now just take your needle nose pliers and close the clasp. Go ahead and repeat the same step on the other side. And now you've successfully made a pair of Fringe style earrings. Maro for watching, and see you next time.